Hi everyone, and today I'll be talking about Oktoberfest. Fun fact, about 2 million gallons of alcohol is consumed within the 16-day period of the festival. That's the equivalent of about 3.5 Olympic-sized swimming pools full of alcohol that is consumed within those 16 days. I'll be talking about some of the brief history and how Oktoberfest got started. I'll also be talking about tourism, some of the food and the breweries used during Oktoberfest, and how Oktoberfest is not just in Germany, but it's also worldwide. To start us off, I'll be talking about the brief history of Oktoberfest. It started October 12th, 1810, between the marriage of Crown Prince Ludwig I and Princess Therese. The wedding ceremony and the festival of the wedding lasted about 5 days, and it included drinking, horse racing, and lots of food and games. It was just a giant party right outside the city of Munich. At that time, it was the country of Bavaria, and later Bavaria joined Germany in 1815. But at this time, it was its own country. Um, the next year, they weren't going to re-celebrate the marriage of the crown prince and the princess. They had already gotten married, but they had an agricultural fest instead. So in 1811, there was an agricultural fest where people got together, bring food, crops, and all that, just having a good time. The next year, in 1812, they brought in the breweries and beer and alcohol and all that into the mix, and they slowly started to form Oktoberfest as it is today. They still had horse racing, and eventually that tradition did die out, and it's no longer a thing that happens. Horse racing doesn't happen anymore during the festival. Nowadays, the festival is 16 days. So it starts in late September and ends the first Sunday of October. So regardless of the September, what days it starts at, it can vary, but it always ends the first Sunday of October. Um, the festival is not celebrated during times of war, epidemic, and economic crises. So it was not celebrated during the Napoleon Wars, World War One, World War Two. They didn't celebrate this year because of coronavirus. The next topic I'll be talking about is tourism and some of the breweries that are used during Oktoberfest, and some of the food that's used during Oktoberfest. Approximately 7 million people come to Oktoberfest. Obviously, it didn't start off like that. That was more recent numbers, but it's been growing every year, and it's really become this huge event that happens every year. Sadly, it won't happen this year because of COVID. But Oktoberfest has 6 historic breweries that make the beer for Oktoberfest in Munich. These 6 breweries make a special beer just for Oktoberfest. Make their other beer on the side that goes into sale all the time. A lot of the common food that you might find is bratwurst, sauerkraut, different types of German cheeses, the big pretzels, the Bavarian style pretzels, and a lot of other traditional German kind of food. It brings in a lot of tourism. I mean, 7 million people attended this. Um, it brings in a ton of money for the region, and especially it's like Mardi Gras for here in New Orleans. It's a huge event that happens, and it brings in a ton of money to help support the area. Lastly, I'll be hitting on how it's celebrated worldwide. Obviously, the big event is in Munich, Germany, and it probably will be the biggest there for forever. I mean, that's the original start of it, but it's celebrated in different areas. It's celebrated in where there's large areas of German heritage and ancestry. So here in the United States, there's Deutsches houses set up around the United States. We have one here in New Orleans. I attend Oktoberfest. Sadly, there wasn't one. There wasn't one this year because of COVID. Hopefully, they'll have it again the next year in 2021. Hopefully, everything will be back to normal, and hopefully, you all attend. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of music. All the food's really good. It's they try and stick with traditional German food. They might have some American food for the kids or some people who don't eat the German food. But it's a lot of German food, and it's really good. The beer is really nice, and everyone just has a good time. It's it's not as big here, but it is certainly, there's a lot of people do attend. So I hope you had a good time watching the video. I hope you learned about how Oktoberfest started, how it kind of turned into the Oktoberfest there is today. You know, the tourism, the traffic, the food and all that comes in. How there's just these certain breweries who brew a certain beer just for Oktoberfest, and how it's celebrated not just in Munich, Germany, but in areas of large German heritage and ancestry. You can attend an Oktoberfest here in New Orleans when they come up and rolling again. Hopefully next year when hopefully COVID will be gone, and you can experience a little taste of Oktoberfest. It's not going to be like the Munich one, but it's still a lot of fun. I hope you all had a good time watching my video, and I'll catch you later.